the regional general manager of Rhythm and Rally, the largest indoor pickleball facility in the United States.
In the world, Corn.
Oh.
All these different tours that are happening now for collegiate, would they become non-existent or irrelevant at that point, or would coexist somehow?
The NCAA will drive them out.
Yeah, if it gets too big, you can't keep it full. If it's too small, you can't generate enough revenue to keep the doors open.
Exactly.
The largest Christmas
at the
tournament
largest,
in the
yeah.
world, at the world's largest indoor pickleball facility.
For those of you watching, the numbers are jumping. It's been a heated game the whole game.
Player threw a paddle.
Hits their opponent.
I can look in the facility on my phone and I pulled it up. That was the wildest thing I've seen on a pickleball court.
That place went crazy.
For so many people, it's just home and work, and there isn't that third place to go to find community, to find fellowship, etc. So how you make it that community resource, turn Rhythm and Rally into a third place.
Welcome back to the Southern Pickleball Podcast. As always, I'm everyone's favorite 4-4 duper, Corin Dujinski, here with my co-host and co-founder of Southern Pickleball, Mark Spackman. And today we got a special one for you. We have the general manager of Rhythm and Rally and the regional general manager of a couple facilities, JR, here to talk to us about what it's like to run a facility and all that goes into that. But before we get started, make sure you guys don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thank you to our sponsors. Head Pickleball, a favorite of Southern Pickleball and its players all across the country. Diadem Sports, the official pickleball of Southern Pickleball and of the world, and the only pickleball that we want to play with and you should want to play with as well. And Mizuno, the shoe that is helping us grow the game on and off the courts. We're also grateful for Mizuno's continued support of Southern Pickleball as they provide us with some incredible giveaways for our tournament players and fans. All right, JR, how you doing, man? And for those of you who don't know, sorry, I'm being too casual over here. JR stands for
John Roberts.
John Roberts. I was trying to get him to come in, and that was a mistake on my part. I should have told him. Should have preempted him. John Roberts. So you are the regional general manager of a few facilities throughout the Southeast. Is that correct?
Yeah. Two right now, Rhythm and Rally here in Macon and the Burlington Pickleball Center up in Burlington, North Carolina, where Southern Pickleball recently hosted a fantastic event, North Carolina State Championships, up there just a couple of weeks ago with a dynamite tournament director.
I heard his name was Corin or something like that. I can't remember totally. It was something like that. I can't totally remember. But yeah, so the Burlington facility, beautiful. And then Rhythm and Rally, the largest indoor pickleball facility in the United States.
In the world, Corin.
In the world. Oh, I've been underselling.
Whole world. We are global, baby. 160.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
That's right. That's right. So before we get into, what it's like for you running this facility and these facilities, just kind of like what's your background and how did that help you become, you say regional manager. I like to call you the assistant to the regional manager for those of you out there who understand the joke. But so what's your background and how did that help you get this position?
I grew up in college athletics. My father was the sports information director at Valdosta State University, a small Division II school in South Georgia. So he didn't have a staff growing up. So his two sons were his stat crew for home games for Valdosta State Athletics. And really, I had done it my entire life. When I matriculated to the University of Georgia as a student, I worked in their athletic department. Go Dogs! And then
Rambling Red.
Yes, I was getting ready to graduate and not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. A malady that has persisted in the intervening years. I was graduating with a degree in religion, and turns out that's not the most marketable bachelor's degree you can have, Corin. So I sort of fell back on what I had always done, which was working sports, shot some resumes out, ended up getting hired in the sports media relations office at James Madison University in Virginia. Worked there for a couple of years, moved to Johnson City, Tennessee, and worked at East Tennessee State when they were then a member of the Atlantic Sun Conference. And after a few years there, the Atlantic Sun Conference brought me on as an assistant commissioner, and I stayed there for 15 years working through their entire portfolio of sports, ended up as the senior associate commissioner and chief operating officer, overseeing the officiating program and all of the championship events, handing out trophies and punching bids to NCAA tournaments, from men to women's soccer through basketball, baseball and softball in the spring, and everything in between. And somewhere in there, sometime around 2019, started playing pickleball. And really, that origin story is pretty similar to a lot of other people. Started playing, fell in love with it, started playing a few tournaments. And as I went to the tournaments, they weren't all super well run. And as I talked to people playing and asked them about their experience, they said that was the experience they had at most tournaments. Long wait times and small brackets, not getting a whole lot of meaningful play for or value for the dollar they were spending to play in those tournaments. And I thought that I had a wealth of experience from running all the collegiate events I had over the years that I could possibly bring to bear. And that dovetailed nicely with your co-host and co-founder there, Mark Spackman, entering the space and starting to run some great events in the Southeast. Got to know him and helped run some of those early Georgia Pickleball Association events. And it also worked out well that the city of Macon was expanding pickleball offerings. When I started playing, there were no permanent courts in Macon, and now we have the Tatnall Pickleball Center, which is home to 26 beautiful outdoor courts, and right down the street is Rhythm and Rally. And so sort of my experience and Macon's flourishing as a bona fide pickleball hotbed in the Southeast, there was a serendipitous timing there that allowed me to transition out of the college athletics space and into what had been a passionate hobby of mine, and now been running the world's largest indoor facility for 2 years, and launched a proud partnership with Southern Pickleball a few months ago that we're looking forward to some more great tournaments in the years ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious. I think we're gonna get into all that good stuff too, and I think
you can cut in the answers that you need to. By the way, Mark, you ask me one question, I'll talk for 10 or 15.
You're so well spoken, though.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I've heard parts of the story, or I think all the story, different parts, but it's nice hearing it together. But I know, I think I met you first at a tournament that you were running, and sort of really liked how it was going. And I remember one of the first things I asked Paul Midkiff about you, and he's like, JR's got a really big brain. He's one smart guy. So that was what, and I've learned that to be true. And then the other thing that I tell people, and I still remind myself sometimes if something's going on at the tournament, there's nobody that is as calm at the tournament desk when there's chaos going on as JR is. He just sits there. He's as calm. You can just see that big brain working, and within a minute, he's got it figured out and got a plan. But there's nobody that's just as calm and cool as collected at the tournament desk. But I was just curious because of that college background and everything. And we just had the, I guess it's, now it would have been 10 days ago, as this is going out, the Duper Collegiate. Where do you see pickleball going with college stuff right now?
I mean, how long of a horizon do you want? If the NCAA,
in 2 minutes or less, JR, in 2 minutes or less, where do you see pickleball going at the collegiate level? Can my grandkids make any money in NIL and pickleball?
Yeah, almost certainly. The NCAA will get involved eventually. They will find that they will at least convince themselves there's money to be made. And once they think there's money to be made, the NCAA will certainly sponsor. There's a whole process in how that happens at the NCAA level, in terms of it getting on the what they call the emerging sports list.
Do you think all these different tours that are happening now for collegiate, would they become non-existent or irrelevant at that point, or would they still coexist somehow? How would you see that happening?
The NCAA will drive them out.
Yeah.
If they want to get involved,
Yeah.
in terms of team, there will still be a space for it in terms of club pickleball.
Right.
Same way
Yeah.
there's
Right.
club basketball or club softball at college campuses, and they can travel around recreationally and play. But once the NCAA decides to get involved, then they will professionalize team pickleball in a way that
Yeah.
these other tours
Yeah.
don't, and they will bring it definitionally a level of legitimacy that these other tours just won't be able to catch up with, because the NCAA has 150 years of being the national championship provider in the
Right.
college sports space.
Right.
So but that's still a 15 to 20 year horizon.
Okay, so long-term out. Yep.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of perfect. And we usually have our pro pickleball expert on here a lot, and then sometimes we get into a debate on how big of an expert he is. But for you, I think you're a pretty good expert in this space of NCAA, and so that gets me excited because I do have a 13-month-old sitting at the house
Oh, he'll be ready.
holding a pickleball paddle, just waiting for them to move away from clubs and start offering that scholarship and NIL money. So I'm glad to hear 15 years would be right around the perfect time. So hopefully it's the short.
Well, I was at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about how initially pickleball became the amenity and the senior living and everything, and everybody was wanting pickleball at senior living communities, and that really pushed the sport through that area as those facilities. But now they're saying that pickleball courts are starting to be an amenity that college students are wanting as part of their campus because it's getting so popular. And so now that you're seeing all these colleges that are putting in massive facilities, I think these were people from Liberty that was telling me. I guess Liberty has something, and that's what college students are wanting. So it just seems like a natural progression. But I just thought it was interesting, and I think about, we got so many players down in Macon from Mercer. It just seems like it's really popular with all the Mercer students.
It's blown up. Club pickleball. I play with a lot of people who are in college, and it just feels like in the last 2 years, every single one of them's joined a club pickleball team out of nowhere, and they're playing in these tournaments and they're posting these highlights and stuff. So it's pretty cool. That's where Colin Schick came from. Played NC State or North Carolina or something
North Carolina,
like that.
I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, so let's go now though to that nice shirt you got on, that RR, which by the way, excellent logo you guys got. One of the coolest. Rhythm and Rally, great logo. So how long have you been the manager?
Our marketing coordinator, Allie Bird.
Yeah, she did a great job. How long have you been? You're the first general manager there, and how long have you guys been open?
We have been open almost 2 years. It will be 2 years on New Year's Day
It's a long time. I didn't think it was
in
that long.
2026.
It doesn't feel that long.
Our first event was the Southern Pickleball Candy Cane Classic in 2023. So looking forward to that coming back next month.
Gonna have the third. I guess it'll be the third annual now.
Third annual.
Largest Christmas
at the
tournament
largest,
in the
yeah.
world, at the world's largest indoor pickleball facility.
Yeah, and for those of you watching, the numbers are jumping. So I don't think we'll run out of room because this is the largest indoor pickleball facility, but it's possible, definitely in some brackets. So you guys make sure you sign up for that. Pickleball.com.
I do think, in fairness to players, just when we talk about now, and I think it's one of those things where the expectation is the past, that we've just taken players, and then we've ran our staff ragged and played pickleball all through the night. JR and I spent the night at Rhythm and Rally together for the Southern Championships. We were there all night. So I don't think we're going to do that anymore. We've decided both for our own personal health and for the player experience. So I just say all that to just don't count on the fact that we're just going to keep expanding it and keep taking players and then have 10 o'clock start times. So do get signed up.
Yeah.
Early. I just want to jump into something that because by now I know we're like really interesting guys, but we've probably already like lost like half the people that started tuning in, and I just want to know the thing that I think JR is the expert on, or has an expert opinion that I've been wanting to hear is like there's a special a set of circumstances that have gone into making Rhythm and Rally supporting with community support and all different stuff. But what do you think about all these private indoor pickleball facilities? Do you see the model being long-term sustainable, and then maybe even how that's different than the model that you have and why your model is sustainable? I'm just curious what you think about all these facilities popping up. We talked about it last week on our podcast, and we said, hey, we're going to have the expert next week.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we're certainly very lucky where we are in terms of the support we get locally from the Urban Development Authority and our Convention Visitors Bureau, Visit Macon, and our local leadership is tremendously passionate and supportive of pickleball as an activity and what it can bring to the Macon community, both the people that live here and the economic impact, the tourism dollars that the tournaments can bring, etc. The other great piece about our model is that our facility is so agile and flexible. The nets can be moved into a storage area. We can easily bring in trade shows, any other events that may need that sort of open space, cornhole tournament, billiards, darts. Just to name a few, we've also hosted all manner of company retreats in our downstairs space, large, a couple hundred employees coming out for conference, team building, get to play a little pickleball, etc. So being able to diversify our offerings beyond just pickleball has made us a pretty what has proven over the first 2 years anyway, and hopefully in the long term will be a sustainable enterprise. Your question about the other private clubs, I think there probably is a sweet spot in terms of space and number of courts for a pickleball specific club that can be long-term sustainable and successful. I don't know what that number is yet. I know that if we tried to just do
too big, you can't keep it full.
Yeah,
if it's too small, you can't generate enough revenue to keep the doors open.
Exactly. And if we had tried to do what we've done at Rhythm and Rally as a purely private, investor-driven enterprise, your horizon to profit is just so long. It's so far in the future. You can't grind the losses long enough to get yourself right side up.
Well, that's why I always think when it's a public venture or even a public private joint venture, then that economic impact comes into play, and that starts making a lot of sense when you see how many people come into a city for the Southern Championships or the Candy Cane Classic or the Macon Love, all these great brands that we've built together,
Yep.
down there in Macon. But, if it's a complete 100% private venture, they're really only concerned about the P&L and those four walls. They're not really as concerned about how many heads are in beds and how many people are eating dinner at the Cracker Barrel, and stuff.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Cracker Barrel. So you mentioned that you guys have been open for 2 years, which is a long time, when you consider a lot of these other pickleball places. So, like for you, if what are some of the challenges you face over these 2 years with having, an indoor pickleball facility and being kind of one of the first ones, especially in your area, so you didn't really have someone like yourself to lean back on and ask questions and all that kind of stuff?
I've felt a lot like, if you watch any of the documentaries on the early days of ESPN when they were all in trailers, and it was just Chris Berman and Bob Lee and Tom Mees kicking around, fresh out of college and had no clue what they were doing. It's been similar for us over the first 2 years, right? And one of the things I've had to constantly remind our staff, and we are blessed at the great team we have at Rhythm and Rally, from Sean Greer running our facilities and Megan Edwards keeping our finances right, and Andrea Lee, who does absolute yeoman's work in the programming realm, and the number of bright faces we have in guest services that welcome in all of the visitors, and the guests, Rhythm and Rally, day in and day out. But it's been a ton of trial and error. What program's going to work? Is it ladder league? Is it a 16-15? Is it partner practice up the river, down the river? Where are the sweet spots that are really going to make Rhythm and Rally a spot that people not only know exists, but that people need to get to, right? How do you turn Rhythm and Rally into a third place for people? Because you talk or read about the loss of third place for a lot of people in all areas of life and throughout the world, right? So many of it is for so many people it's just home and work, and there isn't that third place to go to find community, to find fellowship, etc. So how you make it that sort of community resource and weave it into the fabric of Macon for all the people who live in Middle Georgia, and not just the visitors, because again, it's a huge deal for the CVB Visit Macon that we get this economic impact and bring people in, and that we promote the fact that Macon is home to the world's largest indoor pickleball facility, so that people want to come from outside of Macon to see it. But if you're not, if you don't have a wide base from within your community and people who are taking that sort of civic pride in it, then it's not going to last, right? It's St. Elmo's fire.
Right.
It's a mirage on the horizon.
Yeah. No, so I'm glad you mentioned programs, because I think programming right now is kind of a big differentiator between a lot of the facilities coming in. I think it's very important. I think that's something we kind of all three agree on. So I just wonder, like, for you guys, what are the programs that have done the best, or that players ask for the most, or like what's your guys' kind of go-to programming now?
Well, it's we're still learning all of that too. You have our senior lady. We have a vibrant senior ladies group that wants to play the senior ladies ladder league, and that's a Tuesday and Thursday morning area that we found a super passionate group about, and a time frame when courts might not naturally be full, right? So finding those little pieces where you can plug in to those areas that are outside of your normal sort of walk-up traffic. We know almost every day of the week from 4:30 until we close at the end of the night, it's going to be a pretty steady stream of people at this point, right? So you've got your other 10 hours of the day, though, to fill before that. So finding those spots, we have...
Now, in the evening, is that mostly like open play, JR, or is that like a mixture of open play, reserve court, leagues? What?
It's a mixture. We... of our 32 courts, 8 of the courts are always set aside for open play. So if you don't have a membership or don't have a steady foursome that you can book courts on, you can walk up and find people.
So 25% of the facility always available for open play.
Exactly. A quarter of the facility is dedicated to that. The other 24 courts are either going to be reserved by non-members or members for their foursomes, typically in that period. We have a few other programs that will come on in the evening. We do a monthly King and Queen of the Court series where the winner gets
Queen of the Court.
The two winners parking spaces. You try to
Oh, heck yeah.
get that VIP parking.
Yeah, yeah.
You should come down. It's all on Wednesday. I'll send you the invite next time.
I mean, I'd hate to take a parking spot that's going to be empty for the rest of the month. It's quite a haul for me, but
If you have a parking spot, I'm pretty sure you find your way back down more often.
yeah, well, that might be true. I do take quite the long ride to some other places too. So programming very important. But I think also we see that tournaments are very important for a lot of these places. Kind of like a good boost of revenue, just and a good boost of recognition where people maybe didn't know about you and now they do. But I just wonder, and I wanted to ask you, kind of being on the front lines of the facility side, do you think there's too big of a saturation of tournaments happening now? And is that something that's affecting the tournaments in your facility specifically?
I haven't seen a ton of effect in our facility yet. I mean, certainly not in terms of Southern Pickleball tournaments. They are a well-established, well-known brand at this point. Credit to y'all and the great work you've done on that front. I do think there is a saturation point for sure that we will see, but certainly at the higher levels. Just because the price point has gotten so high, just hearing it on the ground at Rhythm and Rally, there are a number, in fact, the majority of our patrons have said that Southern Pickleball tournaments are great. They'll continue to play them, but they don't have a great deal of interest in paying the freight for larger events. In fact, last year in Dallas, we had a number of qualifiers that just flat said they weren't going because they weren't paying the entry fee at the level it got set at. So I do think there is a tipping point there that we're already starting to see, but I think as long as the tournaments can continue to innovate the way they have, whether it's in Southern Pickleball's case, qualification to the end of year tournament, or the rankings points that a lot of people care a great deal about, obviously, because scoreboard matters, right? If you can't point and say,
right,
you're better than Sung Cho, then what are we even doing here?
Poor Sung, always gets picked on.
I know.
I think those are super important elements to continue adding and innovating to keep those repeat customers coming back. But and I do worry about it from the facility side in terms of overscheduling. We certainly don't want to get into a spot where we have a tournament every weekend that's taking up every court, and then members are getting displaced. And we start to hear the complaint that their membership has no value because they can't even get on the courts when they're free on the weekends because we always have tournaments. So we've been really judicious about how we've scheduled tournaments, and are becoming a lot more judicious about who we will work with in terms of running and operating those tournaments, because you also don't want to get an operator in that doesn't do the best job, and even if that's not a reflection of Rhythm and Rally, it doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
If a player comes to our facility and has a bad experience, whether or not that's a Rhythm and Rally problem or a tournament operator problem, it's a Rhythm and Rally.
It's a Rhythm and Rally problem.
So,
yeah, I think that's one of the things that, I mean, when we talk to a lot of these people that invest in large amounts of money in these private facilities all around the country right now and talking about going there, I just always try to make that point is like, and I feel like we as Southern Pickleball, if we go in, we're going to take their brand very seriously, and we're, trying to put a product out there that their brand's going to be proud of, our brand's going to be proud of. But if they make some bad choices, whether it's, however, they let the wrong operator come into that facility, I think it can really hurt some of those private facilities, because then that, like you say, when that operator leaves, they're still stuck there, and the players associated that tournament with that facility, and then it makes it hard for, a Southern Pickleball to go in there and be successful, or even a PPA or whatever. I mean, once a facility kind of gets a reputation. The other thing I see with some facilities is even after and this is not the case in Macon, at all, but like in other places where we go in, if they try to run a lot of small tournaments on their own that just don't make, it's really easy to get that reputation as a place that the tournaments just don't make, so the players quit signing up.
There's no reason to play. Yeah.
So I just think those are some important things for people to think about, with the tournaments.
It's very important, and just a few things. I just want to compliment JR. You can tell he worked for the NCAA or the conference, because he's very well media trained. But also,
he's not calling out anybody for us.
Nothing.
We couldn't even get him
Where's
to say
our
that
TikTok videos when we need them? We needed some TikToks, JR. No, but you've also been very complimentary of Southern Pickleball, and I just wanted to take a moment and be complimentary of you, because one of the things we still get to this day is, hey, where's that guy that does the medal announcements? So before we go, I want to get two things from you. The first one's going to be easy. The second one, you'll have to think about a bit. The first one, if you could just give us your best, famous, this is, I'm going to call it world famous, at least Southeast famous. If you could just give us one medal announcement, that would be great. And if, you know what, I think Sung would even like it if maybe you gave him a gold medal for no reason, since you called him out.
Medal announcement. Medal announcement! Southern Pickleball Championships 2.5 men's singles gold medalist today, Sung Cho!
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Sung. I tried to do something nice for you, and it went wrong. Let me tell you guys, that right there is world famous. If you never got to see it, I hope you get to experience it one day. It's great. But you've been a part of a lot of tournaments there at Rhythm and Rally. You're there, almost every day. What is the craziest story? And we'll let you go after this one. But what's the craziest story since you have become the assistant to the regional manager of Rhythm and Rally that you have?
Hey, before you tell that, we got to tell. We heard on rumor mill opening weekend at the Pickler in Cumming that they had to kick a player out because she didn't like the way the paddle stack was working. On
day one, they're putting out year-long ban. I don't know if it's a year-long ban, but they're kicking folks out.
Yeah.
The craziest story is probably the yeeting of the paddle across the net in the middle of a medal match.
I tell you what.
That one was... I think it's the only day of any tournament that I wasn't actually at the facility. I can't remember where I was. I was traveling somewhere and got the phone call. And because we live in the 21st century, I can look at the cameras in the facility on my phone, and I pulled it up immediately. And it was that was the wildest thing I've seen on a pickleball court.
That place went crazy. The energy in that place just got so intense, and but people kept it respectful, but there was now this
so we all know what is happening, but people listening or watching don't.
It was a high
threw a paddle,
throws a paddle,
hits
their opponent. It's been a heated game the whole game.
Well, there
throws
were
the paddle.
one of the teams was a Macon team, and
yes,
the Macon pickleball community we get rowdy during tournament play.
Close-knit bunch of folks.
We tend to be boisterous in our support of our local players. When the other player, I guess.
But in fairness, I don't think the intent was to hit the other player.
It seems
a paddle throw went awry.
But
you are responsible for it once it leaves your hand. Wherever it ends up,
Throwing a paddle accurately is hard. Trust me, I've tried. There's little control you get on those things.
But JR's had much more intentional body bags than he has.
That's exactly right.
Well,
No, and otherwise, I mean, one of the joys of being in a building that's almost 60 years old is the number of leaks that we have that spring up always during a tournament. We can go 3 months without any issue, and the first moment a ball is struck in tournament play, we will have water somewhere in the facility. One of them was during a Southern Pickleball team event. We had an actual natural spring underneath the concrete, bubble up beneath the carpet over there by court 17. I was playing, and the reason we found it was because I got pulled wide on a dink, raced to get it, and raced is, for those who have seen me play, is a generous description of what I did. But immediately pulled my hamstring, tore my ass. And as I hopped over into the carpet and fell down, I splashed and skidded across the carpet because we had this puddle that had just seeped through from the wall and had to replace all of that. These are the joys of facility management, Corey and I.
well, we got to keep you busy somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't be daisies every day.
I was wondering about that question because over time we have really had minimal issues there. It's just amazing. I think that's a credit to the facility, your whole team, and then also just the whole pickleball community, because I tell people all the time, the thing I love about pickleball the most is like when I see those 4 people out there, and I tell people all the time, I've seen their Facebook pages, and I know they really shouldn't be getting along out there because they are on different sides of the fence, but for that 30 minutes, they're just out there having fun, socializing, getting along, and I just think if we have more than that, that's what pickleball's just got a chance that, to spread, and we bring more of that unity, at a bigger level together when people realize that we are all very much more alike than we are different, and agree on a lot more than we disagree on. And sometimes these things that we disagree on are just so polarizing that we forget how much alike that we are. And pickleball can help sort of bring that back together.
Here. And Macon, anyone who has not been to Macon for pickleball, see that you do. Even if it's not a tournament, just come down and play. So welcome to the community, and we have a vibrant group. I say all the time. I've found I had lived in Macon for 12 years before I started playing. Had a good core group of friends, but didn't really have a community in the same way that I found immediately on walking out the pickleball courts. And a lot of that's generic to pickleball, but there is something, call it hometown cheering if you must, but there is something unique and special about the camaraderie of the pickleball community in Macon that is worth experiencing.
And the world's largest indoor pickleball facility should be on every pickleball player's bucket
Absolutely.
list for sure.
Yes,
Right.
Macon, Georgia, the center of the pickleverse.
It is the center
so.
of pickleverse, but we talk about too. I just don't want us to. And we're gonna have to go. We're gonna wrap up. But the thing I think we talk rhythm and rally all the time, but I think people watching it are gonna say rhythm and rally. Why that name? Because there's so much more about Macon than just it is home of the largest pickleball, indoor pickleball facility in the world, but it's the birthplace of rock and roll, right? Or what's all that story? How does it, that's where
it's Otis Redding's hometown, sitting on the dock of the bay. The Allman Brothers are from Macon. You can go tour their house. Still, it's been restored and is a lovely little museum tour. You can go on.
Step outside the pickleball, and you got an amazing new amphitheater that's having national touring acts come through. So
exactly right. If you're a fan of history, especially U.S. history, Macon has some of the best architecture you will find. The Sherman's March to the Sea back in the Civil War went just 15 miles north of Macon, so everything here was spared. If you go 50 miles north and above, those homes and property were all burned during the war. All of the antebellum architecture still thrives in Macon and is all, it's very much worth seeing. It's a beautiful hidden jewel here in the South that has undergone quite the renaissance in the last 10 years specifically.
I need to go back to school because I have no clue what he's talking about.
For
a while now, I've had no clue what's going on.
Pickleballtournaments.com. Search Candy Cane Classic.
Yes.
And we'll see you in December.
Yes. Center of the Pickleverse, I'm going to call you. You just got an upgrade. You're now the mayor of the Pickleverse. How about it? We appreciate you, JR. And like Mark said, if you guys head over to pickleballtournaments.com or just go to southernpickleball.com, you can find it there as well. The Candy Cane Classic in December is one of our biggest tournaments. It is one of the fan favorite tournaments every year. And I hate to be so biased, but it's the best shirt we have all year as well. I love that shirt. I still wear it today. People are like, it's a Christmas shirt. I'm like, it doesn't matter. So once again, thank you, JR. You guys out there, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know if you've been to Rhythm and Rally. If you haven't, let us know when you're going to go because, as Mark said, you got to make sure you go. Thank you all, and we'll see you next week.